Good Saturday morning, everyone. Here at DraftKings at Casino Queen. Clemson John right next to me. Clemson, we had a little rough morning getting here.
Yeah, traffic got us twisted and turned a little bit, but hey, we got here.
Yeah, that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And we've been really lucky so far. We haven't had any bad weather, except I think Russell, we experienced ice a few weeks ago on the bridge.
Oh yeah,
That was fun.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I was like, "Oh, it's fine," and then I got across the bridge. It's a sheet of ice.
Oh yeah.
And I made it. I was more worried about coming downhill, right into the Casino Queen. But
I guess
I did
the
okay.
signs don't lie when they say bridges ice before roads.
Say that again.
The signs that say bridges ice before roads.
I'm half
David.
asleep right now. I mean, we had a little trouble getting up.
You're talking about icy bridges.
Yeah.
Bridges ice before
I got
roads.
it. I got it. Where's my T-shirt?
Yeah. T-shirt. Yeah. It's at the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
This mysterious T-shirt that I asked for yesterday and last week it's a mysterious Clemson T-shirt.
Yeah.
I might have to wait till next year when we go.
I can get you an ACC championship T-shirt now because we did win the ACC last week.
Yeah.
ACC stands for.
Come on.
Another
yeah.
Clemson championship.
I knew you were going somewhere with it, but there we go.
ACC,
right.
Another Clemson championship.
That's right. All roads lead back to Clemson, but it was they just dominated.
So nice to see Cade get put in that game, man. So DJ comes in the game, little screen pass to the sideline, like a little 2-yard dump pass out to the sideline, screen, wide receiver screen. He throws it into the ground, to start the game. We're like, here we go again. I'm sitting on the couch, David, and I'm sitting here like this, like, watch this guy throw the ball. Bam, into the ground. Run the ball on second down. Third down. Pass that was intended for, a 10-foot Wilt Chamberlain. Nope. Incomplete, 3 and out. North Carolina goes down the field, scores 7-0 North Carolina. We get the ball again to DJ, and another 3 and out. 7-0 North Carolina. So our defense gets a stop. We get the ball, get a punt, get the ball back. And in comes the Texas gunslinger, Cade Klubnik, folks. Oh, it was great. See that kid come in, just boom, puts one in the end zone right away. And it's like, here we go. And we beat them 38-10. I told Ryan last week, I don't think they're getting two touchdowns. And they win 38-10.
Yeah.
They get that first touchdown after DJ had the 3 and out, and that's all they got the whole game.
Yeah, it was.
If we'd have had Cade the whole year, we'd have been right up there with Georgia. We'd have been barking with the dogs just like Georgia. We'd be 13-0, headed for 15-0. So, yeah. But, hey, Dabo gets a little rope. He was loyal to DJ to a fault. I mean, the guy's brought 2 national championships and 6 straight playoff appearances. You know who else has done that outside of Nick Saban?
Nobody,
folks.
Right.
Not Kirby Smart. I had to listen to the Paul Feinbaum show this week. You know Paul Feinbaum? Yes, I had to listen to the Paul Feinbaum show this week. And they sit there with their SEC love fest and they talk about, Kirby, outside of Nick Saban, Kirby's having the best run in modern history, and in the playoff era, he's having the best run. They just forget about Clemson and Dabo Swinney. Just forget about him, The guys won 2 national championships, 6 straight playoff appearances. Kirby got 1 last year.
That's one show. I'm sure there's plenty of shows where they give Clemson their due.
Oh, I don't know. We are little old Clemson, David. We are little old Clemson. We are, folks.
Let's talk about some of the other championship games.
Georgia ran over LSU.
Yeah.
LSU's just awful. LSU loses on Thanksgiving weekend to Texas A&M? You know how bad Texas A&M is? They're like 4-8. I mean, they're just awful. They were 35-point favorites against UMass. Texas A&M was a week before Thanksgiving.
So this is yours?
35-point favorites, and they take the game into the fourth quarter 16-6 against UMass. UMass is at the bottom of the college football poll. They're terrible. Awful. They're 1-10 or something. 1-11, 1-10. UMass is worst team in the country. They're 35-point favorites, and it's 16-6 with Texas A&M. So LSU loses to them. I don't know how you lose to Texas A&M. So, of course, LSU limps into that SEC championship game. They limp into it and put up 30 points and 400 passing yards against Georgia. So, go figure that out. So I think Georgia's susceptible. I don't think they're world beaters like everybody else does. Another thing, you listen to the Paul Feinbaum show this week, all they talked about was Georgia, Georgia, Georgia. They're just going to run through the playoff. It's not even going to be a contest. Don't even play the games, David. Just go ahead and hand them the playoff trophy right now. So Georgia's susceptible, folks.
Yeah. Who do you like?
Well, I think that Ohio State's going to be able to throw the ball against Georgia. I just don't like Ohio State in the trenches, David. I don't like them on the lines. I don't like them on offensive line, defensive line either. I think it's a bad matchup for them. That's what I think. I think Georgia's going to win that game. Michigan, TCU, of course, I think this is going to be a great game. People are underrating TCU again. Max Duggan is Heisman Trophy winner, in my opinion.
We all like K-State, though.
Huh?
We all like K-State.
Yeah, it's hard to beat a team twice. A team that had you down 28-10.
Yeah, I don't think it should have been that close. K-State really should have. I mean, they should have won a regulation, but.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a close game. I thought it was going to be a close game.
Yeah, no,
that's why the spread was.
What I'm saying is, it shouldn't have been close.
Yeah, I mean, Texas A&M and TCU and Max Duggan had to come back.
Yeah.
Max does it again though. Max has been the comeback kid the whole year. They're down 28-20 against K-State. He makes a Heisman Trophy moment run into the end zone, about a 50-yard run. And then a 2-point conversion, a little play action dump off to the tight end on the opposite side of the field for the 2-point conversion, tie it up 28-28. And I thought Sonny Dykes should have kicked the field goal in overtime. It's 4th and goal. It's the first possession of overtime.
I agree with that.
And
that's what I thought.
Yeah, 4th and goal on the 1-yard line, and they had the ball first, so it's not like they're trying to win the game right now. So Sonny Dykes chooses to go for it, and not only does he go for it and not get it, he goes for it and keeps the ball out of Max Duggan's hand 3 straight times and gives it to the running back.
Yeah.
Give it to Max Duggan. The guy's a warrior so far. Just give the ball to the kid. Let him just punch it in for you or something,
Yeah, if you're a TCU fan, that was hard to watch.
Yeah, you got to kick the field goal, because if you don't make it, game's over. Yeah. If you don't make it, because you leave K-State with a 30-yard chip shot field goal.
Yeah.
If you don't make it, game's over. Yeah. So what I say, if you're Sonny Dykes, believe in your defense, kick the field goal, and just believe in your defense that you can get a field goal to go into double overtime. Because if you don't make it, it's over. So I've always said all year, I wish TCU could have a defensive line like Clemson's. Clemson has 4 NFL guys on that defensive line, top 2-round NFL guys. Incredible talents. 2 of them are going to go in the top 15, Brian Brzee and Miles Murphy.
Did we just circle back to Clemson?
Well, yeah. I mean, they have one of the best defensive lines in the country. So, let us take Max Duggan. I'll give them the defensive line. Maybe they can have TCU can have DJ. I'd make that trade.
So speaking of DJ, he's in the portal. Where's he going to go?
Yeah, he's in the portal. He's probably going to go out west. I said this about a month ago. He might go out west with UCLA. They're going to need a quarterback. Chip Kelly could use him. He's from St. John Bosco High School, which is Southern California. It's one of the best high school football programs in the country. They're always ranked in the top 10 on the Max Preps rankings, and St. John Bosco is one of the best.
We talked about this yesterday. DJ was the number 1 recruit. He's kind of come out flat, right? I mean, yeah.
I don't know what happened to the kid, man. That's why sometimes you get these kids in there. You look good. You're like an offensive lineman. You're coming out of high school. You're 6'5", 320, but when you get to the program in college, there's a big difference between high school and college at a Division I level like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you ain't got the dog in you, when you get there. So sometimes you got to have the dog in you, David. Some of these kids just don't got it. DJ didn't have it, you know. He didn't work that his year last year. He had gained 30 pounds. His knee was always hurt. You know, to his credit, he did get about as good as he can be this year. He lost 30 pounds. He was healthy. He could finally run the ball a little bit, but there was such a talent drop off between him and Cade Klubnik. But that's what Dabo does. He's loyal, man. He is loyal to a fault sometimes, and he wants to be loyal to his players. I mean, I get that, but I say to Dabo, he wasn't loyal to Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence. The best player played then. Why didn't the best player play now so we could beat the heck out of Georgia? I'd love to beat Stetson Bennett in Georgia if I'm Clemson.
It's all right.
They'd have a shot.
You got a few more years coming up. You'll be all right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Cade's going to be back. He's a true freshman, man. Yeah, Cade's going to be back. So the Texas Gunslinger will be back, and we'll be back at the top of the rankings for sure.
And we'll see if you get some new freshmen in, right?
Oh, yeah, the recruiting class will be good. You know, Dabo always develops them. So, yeah, it was funny Saturday night. They blamed the receivers all year for Clemson. Well, they don't have the receivers anymore. Finally, when Cade gets in the game, guess what? Our receivers can finally catch the ball. It was like, oh, now our receivers are good. Would you imagine that? So, yeah.
Hey, guess who we got joining us today? I'm really excited. You're going to be cutting out of here a little early today.
Yeah, I got to get out of here at 10 a.m.
Yeah, listen, you're going to go exercise?
Yeah, we got a basketball league we're doing, yeah.
On Saturday morning.
Yeah. Well, it's the early game. We got stuck with the 10:40 a.m. game.
You're not the get even or get even worse game? You're
probably the Hawaii
You're definitely the get even worse game.
Nah. We got a good squad. I might have to call our friend Earl Bear and see if he can come in.
He should be. We need confirmation, but he should be here next week.
Yeah,
to join us. So that's going to be exciting.
He's not allowed in that league.
I imagine not.
No, he's not allowed in that league. So.
I don't think that. Maybe if you played 5-on-3. What do you think?
Oh God, he could take all 5 by himself. He's an NBA player, man.
I know. I was thinking, what if maybe 5-on-3, 5-on, you know?
It wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter. We'll have to ask him next week. Yeah. Well, we'll have, if he comes with us next week, we'll have to ask him. Joining us today in just a few minutes is Greg Damon from KMOX. It's always fun having Greg here. I'm excited to have him because we can talk really anything with him. And he's a big Green Bay Packer fan, and we'll break that down a little bit. And we'll go over the Cardinals. Cardinals a nice acquisition.
Yeah, a nice catcher, it looks
like. Yeah, and he can hit too.
They always figure it out, man.
Yeah.
Cardinals always figure it out.
I didn't think Wainwright was going to come back for another year, but here he comes. And he's expensive. You know, when he wasn't pitching that good and he had to reinvent himself, he was like $1 million a year, $2 million a year.
Yeah.
$17 million. $17 million.
Yeah, but 40 million's the new, $40 million's the new 25 million, David. So 17 million's the new 10 million.
50's the new 30.
Yeah, you know. My New York Mets are spending money left and right. Cohen's I
forgot you were a Mets fan.
Yeah. I followed him since 1999 and Robin Ventura's Grand Slam single. I got you puzzled, don't I?
You do.
Okay. 1999 NLCS. It's the bottom of the 15th. The Mets are down 3-2. It's one of the worst bad beats in history of sports. The over-under is 7.5.
Well, the Mets have taken a few.
Huh?
The Mets have taken a few.
Yeah. But anyway, it's 3-2. Bottom of the 15th inning. The over-under, the total is 7.5. Robin Ventura hits a grand slam to make it 6-3 and go over the total. A game-winning grand slam in Game 5. We're down 3-0. So he's going to send it back to Atlanta. We're down 3-2 now. We're going to be the first team in the history of baseball to come back from a 3-0 deficit. This is going to happen. I was 14 years old, and I went to Game 6 in Atlanta. Yeah.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. Me and my uncle went. I was only 14 years old, but I followed him around barking in his ear every second wanting to go to that game. He took me. Yeah. So, anyway, Robin Ventura in Game 5 hit a grand slam single. Final score instead of 6-3, 4-3, over under 7.5. The fans rush the field. Robin Ventura doesn't touch home plate. The guy on first base doesn't touch home plate. So the second and third guys on second and third base score. That's all they needed to win the game.
Yeah.
So the official score was 4-3 Mets.
Wow.
Grand slam single.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the worst beats in the history of sports betting.
That is.
Yeah.
If
you had the over, you're celebrating at 3:00 in the morning because that's when that happened.
They actually went back and.
No, they didn't go back. They just marked it.
They marked
and
it.
Nobody realized it till the next morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How do you not touch home plate? Well, they didn't need to.
I remember watching SportsCenter after that, and ESPN even had the game finalized as 6-3. They didn't even know. Nobody knew.
Wow.
Until they realized.
That's a horrible beat.
Oh.
Well, they didn't need more, so it was over.
4-3.
All they had to do is touch home plate one of them. Just one
Two
of them.
One. Because it was 3-2.
Oh, okay.
Two of them, the guy on second and third base touch home plate, game over. But the fans rushed the field, so Ventura and the guy on first base never got a chance to go home.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was one of the best memories I had, though, growing up. 3:00 in the morning, Ventura hits that grand slam single. Because I go from Keith Lockhart gets a run in the top of the 15th, make it 3-2 Braves. And so I'm thinking the game's over. We lose again, a heartbreaker, and then Ventura hits that grand slam single. At 3:00 in the morning, I run outside. I'm yelling. I start seeing lights flickering on at the neighbors. They probably think something's going on. It's 3 a.m. But no, we were just going back to Atlanta for Game 6. And we lost Game 6 on a walk-off hit by pitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a bad beat.
Walk-off hit by pitch in the bottom of the 12th. Yeah.
That's a hell of a series. I don't remember it.
Oh, I remember it. I'll never forget it.
Well, yeah, it's because you're a Mets fan.
And I was there. I've got a scar on my knuckle here. Can you see that?
Can we get a close-up?
No. Right there.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. It's faded over the years, but as soon as the Julio Franco, you remember Julio Franco?
Of course I remember.
He gets hit by the pitch as a pinch hitter.
Wow.
Game winner. And somehow I swung my fist in the air like that and scraped my knuckle on the concrete wall in the outfield. So I opened up my skin or something. Got a scar to this day for it somehow. But, yeah.
Hey, Russ, it's Greg. Oh, Greg, how long you been there, man? All right, Greg Damon's going to join us here. We got to get him situated. Yeah. You want to give him his chair and come on back. Yeah, we're ready. We're not taking a break. We got no time to waste with you. True and loyal. Green Bay Packer. Good morning, Craig. Sorry to get you up so early on a Saturday morning.
I'm going to scoot in because I've been up at 5.
Oh, you have?
Well, it looks like we didn't deliver the note about the green.
That's funny. It's a green screen. Don't wear green.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's great.
There we go. No, here we go.
There you go.
Look at this. We fix it. Look at that. More green. We have more green.
I'm glad we don't have it.
Green is great.
I'm glad we don't have an orange screen.
Oh, here we go. Look at this.
No, he's perfect.
Yeah.
Great.
Holograms. I like it. That's right.
Can you imagine how bad a shape we'd be in every week if we had an orange screen?
Pretty bad.
What?
An orange screen.
Yes, we wouldn't have one. Not with you. You can use any color. I've learned. It doesn't have to be green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, Russell? You can use any color.
Green or blue are the popular.
Yeah, green or blue.
Yeah. Learn something new every day. I thought it had to be green. I'd have got that wrong on Jeopardy. I'd have lost all my money. I'd have risked it all in the daily double of the green.
The only Jeopardy you should be on is if it has to do with Clemson or college football.
Jeopardy. So I'll tell you a funny Jeopardy story since you mentioned it. I was a kid, 15 years old or something. You remember Super Nintendos, right? Everybody remembers those.
Love it.
So they had a sports Jeopardy. I remembered somehow, I don't know how, but I remembered all 3,500 questions. So when the people be walking by the TV, right, and my family'd have their friends over or something, whatever. I'd answer it in like 2 seconds just because I remember it all because I played the dang thing so much. So I'd answer them like 1 second. Everybody's like, he's a genius. No, I just remembered all 3,500 questions and I've played it so
That's
much.
impressive, though.
Well, it was funny.
I think that's impressive.
It's pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive.
It's just, I just knew it because I played it so much. But, yeah.
That's impressive. I'm
Sports
impressed.
Jeopardy.
All right. Hey, Greg.
You're easily amused, though.
I am easily amused. Greg, we had a lot of catching up to do.
It's been a long time.
I was thinking, what do we want to start with? You want to start with a little baseball?
Whatever you want to do.
Let's start with a little baseball. What do you think the acquisition with new catcher?
I was really hoping that we would have got the guys from the A's, Sean Murphy.
Yeah.
I think he's probably the one that checks all the boxes 100%. Good defensive catcher, good arm, good bat, great guy in the clubhouse. But the haul that the A's wanted,
it's unbelievable what they wanted.
For him is just I mean, let's face it. The Cardinals are a different team. Better. Can you turn it up just a little bit? I have a hard. The Cardinals are a different team. I mean, let's face it. They're gonna do their way. They are in it to make a profit. That is what the Cardinal. I shouldn't say the Cardinal way is. That's the way any business is. You're in to make a profit. They're very frugal with their money. They want to make good business decisions. Still have a competitive team year after year. I mean, obviously, if we didn't have a competitive team here, would we have the fan base? Probably not. St. Louis loves his baseball. But going back to the catcher for the A's, I mean, there's no way that you're going to mortgage your future for some great players, Lars Nootbaar and Donovan Osborne and Matthew Libator and, a draft pick or even another high AAA guy that they want for Sean Murphy. Sure, he's got 2 more years of team control, but I think they did the smart thing. I mean, Wilson Contreras, obviously one of the most coveted free agents this year. I think they did a great thing going and get him. They kind of stubbed their nose at the A's going, hey, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen to the A's down the road, people aren't going to want to pay that price, and Murphy's stock will start dropping. So, but I think it's great for the Cardinals. They got who they were speculated with most of the year. So
yeah, $17 million a year. I think that's a deal. I know it
sounds
sounds crazy. I think it's a deal.
Yeah, it's not my money.
Well, I mean, but seriously, in the market, what it is, I think that's an absolute fantastic deal.
Yeah, I think it's definitely good team control wise as far as the money they're putting out. They didn't have to give up any prospects for him. He's got a 5-year deal. He's going to come in. He's he's essentially going to take Albert Pujols' spot. He's going to be able to protect Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, probably bat 5th, I would imagine, and go from there. I mean, really, when's the last time we had a catcher that actually hit?
A while.
Been a while. That's not Tom Pagnozzi, I'll tell you that. Tom Pagnozzi was only good at the buffet.
Darryl Porter. Darryl Porter, maybe. I don't remember. That was a long time ago, but all I remember as a kid is like it felt like, because I was such a young kid, like every time he came up to bat, he would hit a home run, but it wasn't.
Who, Darryl Porter?
Yeah, but he had like 3 a year, but it felt
it's like high fastball, man. Throw it in his eyes, he's swinging.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a long time ago, but
I'm showing my age on that too.
That's okay.
Yeah, Contreras said this week that he's seen Pujols hit his 694th or 695th home run when they were in St. Louis, I think, and he said, "Man, it would be really cool to be a part of something like this." Now he gets to be.
Yeah,
yeah, I think definitely for him. I mean, I think for a lot of players, looking at the Cardinals and their organization, how they run stuff, and the fan base that they have. I mean, seriously, you think Albert Pujols, he lives here? Do you think he'll ever buy dinner again? No. The fans are just rabid. And I think a lot of folks come here and they go, wow, this is really kind of a cool place to be. And they want to end up staying their life here.
Yeah, that's what's unbelievable. I can't believe how many pros that come here, they end up moving here and living here.
Correct. Even Wayne Gretzky, for that matter.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, there he is.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the one thing that's the most important thing to the place you're in. Baseball is the most important thing here, for sure.
Yeah. And even when we had football, it still was.
Right. That's what I said when the Rams. I said, guys, it's baseball city. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
I think what we need to do is have the Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Rams play a grudge match in the Dome here in St. Louis.
Yeah, I want to. I know this sounds crazy, but I want to root for the Cardinals again, and I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't get myself to do it.
The football Cardinals?
Yeah, the football Cardinals.
Well, it's funny. So obviously, we're a football family. My kids played football.
Yeah.
My one son is a very good football player, and they don't understand why I hate the Dallas Cowboys as much as I do. And it's like you don't understand. Back in the St. Louis football Cardinal days, that was the most hated team.
Yeah, yeah.
So
when I moved to Phoenix to go to college a couple years after the Cardinals moved to Phoenix, and I used to go to Cardinal games and root for every team that played the Cardinals after they moved. I couldn't stand them. Right, they just ripped me
Sure.
from in St. Louis. So I went to a Cowboys Cardinals game, and there was obviously more Cowboys fans at the time. Now there's more Cardinal fans out there, but a lot of kids have grown up with the team now. We're talking 30 years later, but I used to have to. It made me sick to my stomach to root for the Cowboys. But it was like the worst of the worst for me. Like I pay money. I paid money to go to a game and I rooted for the Cowboys, and I literally wanted to throw up. I mean, it's like I got to root for the Giants. I got to root for the Eagles. I mean, are you kidding me?
Right.
I'm like, these are the teams I grew up despising, right? Absolutely despising. And now I got to root for them because I hated the Bidwell so much.
Right, exactly. Well, good kudos to those. I mean, they've changed that organization around and have really made that a good place, a good team, good facilities, and everything else. Although you have to babysit Kyler Murray still, but other than that, I mean, it's been a good. It's good organization for those.
I don't think he's going to last much longer, Kyler Murray.
Boy, I'll tell you, it's a guy with all sorts of talent. Well, of course, I mean, he can't see over the offensive line because he's like 4'3".
Yeah, he's not much taller. Seriously, what is he, like 5'8"?
Yeah, he's like 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah,
I'm sure he's listed at 6 foot. But.
And it's hard for him to stay healthy, especially as time goes on.
Right. Well, that's the issue. I mean, everybody loves those running quarterbacks out of college. That have the triple threat. They can run, they can pass, they can hand off whatever the team needs. They can certainly get outside the pocket and make strides. I mean, look at Jalen Hurts this year for the Eagles. I mean, how bad
improvement this year, though.
He just takes off and runs. But the problem is what happens 8 years from now. That all those hits on that body sure get banged up. And
if you're a Philadelphia fan, though, if you get one Super Bowl out of them, you're happy.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Not throw batteries on the field this year? That's what they do to the players. They throw batteries at the players. So
really?
Oh yeah, they throw batteries at Santa Claus. You didn't know that, David?
Who throws batteries at Santa Claus?
Philly fans. They're the worst.
They are the worst.
They are the worst. Yeah. The last game in Veterans Stadium history? Anybody?
I kind of remember.
It was an NFC championship game when the Buccaneers went and won that Super Bowl.
It's like playing on cement, they said.
Yeah. Keyshawn Johnson was leaving the game as a Buccaneer saying, "Shut down the vet. Shut it down." And that was the last memory they had, was the Buccaneers beating them in an NFC championship game. So that was pretty cool to watch.
He's not a Philly fan.
No, I'm not really a Philly fan either. Yeah. My kids are. Getting back to the Cowboys, even in fantasy football, I have a hard time drafting.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
I told my son, my youngest son, obviously, is a pretty good football player. I mean, obviously, you always have aspirations of playing in the NFL. You talk about stuff like that. I told him, you ever get drafted, you get drafted by the Cowboys. I will not wear a Cowboys jersey. I'll wear something with your number on it, but there won't be any sort of.
So, as my good friend of the show and my good friend personally, Gary Henson, says, on the 8th day, God created the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
I think I just threw up on my mouth.
That was hard for me to say, but we don't play the sound bite anymore. But on the very first show ever that we did last year, Gary dropped that, and it's pretty funny. There's a diehard, people like you that are Packer fans that are. I mean, you live it.
Yeah,
right, and Cowboy fans.
All the Packer fans are going to have to worry about watching the Cowboys at the playoff, making a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, let's see who beat the Cowboys this year. Oh, the Packers did. That's right.
Oh, one of their 2 wins.
It doesn't matter. They beat the Cowboys. My year's set.
I'm just kidding.
It doesn't matter.
We're gonna get to Green Bay in a second, but I want to tell you, I'm excited. And and what I mean, I'm excited as far as like getting to see somebody play. I think this kid has a lot of talent, and Tyler Huntley for Baltimore, their backup, and he's just shown flashes of like being really, really good. So I want to see him play a few games. Get a chance to get in a groove. Do you know much about him?
I don't know much about him.
He's very. I mean, he's kind of like Lamar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those.
He's a first team all Pac-12 twice.
That system is set up for him to succeed. Maybe short term, but I'm a Baltimore fan. That's my team.
He was a Utah Ute. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things we talk about, those quarterbacks that are triple threat. Look at Robert Griffin III.
Yeah.
Comes out of Baylor. Guy is a triple threat quarterback, can run it. He can do whatever. Goes to Washington. They don't have their offense set up for that. They have their offense set up as a passing in the pocket kind of offense, and now they can't protect him. That's how he ends up getting hurt and really kind of out of the league.
Yeah. He's a good announcer.
Well, you got to have something, a goal in life, I guess.
Well, he's really smart.
Well,
he's really super smart.
They say that Tom Brady is going to be, that's his next career. Obviously, when he gets done playing for the, let's see, where's he going to go next year? He's going to go probably to.
He might as well keep playing, right?
There's rumors of him going to the Packers. There's rumors of Denver.
That's a crap show.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine that?
They went under the betting total 8 straight games. Under.
I mean, as far as the show's concerned, that's a great stat, right?
Right.
I mean, it's hard to watch. If you're a Broncos fan, that's got to be hard to watch.
It's really hard to watch.
Pete Carroll, who knew, right? Thought he was going to start Drew Lock. Geno Smith.
Yeah, steps in, man.
I
would have never, ever thought Geno Smith would have ever had another shot again. But there again, look at Jameis Winston.
Yep.
Same thing. I would have never thought that he would have had another shot and did as well as he did, although he's kind of on the outs now.
Yeah, I will tell you, though, I'm eating my words. At the beginning of the season, I was making a joke on 590 when we were talking. I was like, is he still in the league? I kept saying, is he still play?
He's bringing the water in.
And look what he's doing. I mean, it's amazing. Drew Lock gets COVID. This guy gets to start, and he's just taking off with it.
Geno was the quarterback at West Virginia when they put 70 on Clemson.
Wow.
In the Orange Bowl. Then Clemson got Brent
You
Venables,
do know with him that all roads, he's going to find anything you say. It could be about any sport. All roads lead back to Clemson.
Well, yeah. Geno Smith, that Orange Bowl, West Virginia, 70.
Why don't they call it the Clemson Bowl?
Yeah.
He's actually thinking why.
Clemson Bowl, yeah. I never thought of that. But, yeah, But, no, I don't know if you guys remember that. That happened, yeah. And then
I don't remember that.
That's when we got Brent Venables.
That's why we got him.
And then Brent Venables changed everything. It was great.
So this show has become Clemson heavy. It misses, believe it or not, I miss a little bit of Green Bay Packer heavy, right?
Well, there's going to be some tie-ins with Clemson and Green Bay Packers. I thought they were going to have a little slot receiver come to Green Bay, Clemson. But he didn't quite pan out, I guess. Amari. I thought Amari was going to pan out, but Amari Rodgers was...
He can't pan out. He can't catch a ball.
Yeah.
He can't even catch a punt return.
I thought he was going to be a little slot receiver there.
Well, they gave him every chance, every opportunity for him to become that. I mean, they drafted him really high, obviously. Kid comes with all sorts of talent, for sure. But, man, I don't know if it's just, cold feet or what, but it just seems like his head was never in it.
Yeah, that happens with these guys.
That's
Sometimes
what
you never know.
You have all sorts of talent, and Geno Smith have all sorts of talent, and your head's not in it. Your head's too big. And the next thing you know, you're out of the league, and he's lucky enough to get another chance for that.
All right.
Pete Carroll gave another
they
chance.
say Garoppolo's going to be back for the playoffs. Until then, San Francisco is going to be just fine.
Bryce Purdy. That's who they're playing, right? The Niners.
That's who started. Yes.
Yeah. Bryce Purdy. Yeah.
Spell it.
Purdy.
Yeah.
He played Clemson in the Cheez-It Bowl last year. He did at Iowa State. Bryce Purdy.
Wasn't that the Orange Bowl? No, the Clemson Bowl?
Cheez-It Bowl.
Cheez-It.
Cheez-It sponsors it. So.
Well, Cheez-It's orange.
I guess it's going to be the Cheez-It
Cheez-Its
Bowl.
are orange, so we can go with that.
I remember Bryce Purdy, Iowa State Cyclone. Yeah, he's going to take over Garoppolo. He played good for San Francisco.
I think it's really funny that the San Francisco 49ers so bad have wanted to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo for the last 3 years.
I'm a fan of his.
And, it's like nothing ever pans out, and he comes back and just
does a great job.
And is a stud.
Yeah.
And comes in and
what do you want from him? He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah. I'm a fan.
My wife loves him. She follows him on Instagram, so
well,
it's her boyfriend, according to her. I'm like, hey,
I mean, he's a good-looking guy.
He's got to take the whole package, though. He just can't come in and he's got to take the whole package.
Okay. I don't know how we got there, but have you been watching any World Cup? We haven't really talked about.
What's the World Cup?
Okay, never mind. We can just skip right by that.
I've been betting on it.
Yes, you have.
But
he's up early in the morning.
It's the only thing you can do till 5 o'clock now. There's nothing. There's no baseball. There's no afternoon stuff at all until the weekend.
So I read an article, just gambling wise, with football being over, and I mean, there's always something to bet, but there's going to be alternative sports coming to the sports books. I mean, some really off the wall. Yeah, why not?
Well, you got to be. If you can't watch it, then forget about it.
Well, yeah, you can watch it. All these
on the Ocho.
Yeah, right. Well, it's on something, right? It's on something. All these alternatives. Have you seen? I have to mention this. I saw this for the first time. It's like a ping pong table that's curved. And these guys don't use their hands, but it's like a soccer ball, like a small soccer ball.
I think I've seen that.
Have you seen this? Where they can use any part, and I've never seen anything like it. I don't even know what it's called. I got to find out what this sport's called. It was the most entertaining 5 minutes I think I've seen it in a while. And that takes a lot for me to say.
Come on, they have competitive cornhole.
Yeah. You're probably going to be able to bet on it soon if you can't already.
Yeah, World Cup's all we got though right now.
Well, we got bowl games coming up.
Oh yeah, we're going to have some stuff at the end, third week of December. But I'm just right now. That's all we've had this week.
While you are here, he's leaving, and we've got Ryan on his way. Why don't you talk some bowl games with Greg?
Yeah, Mizzou's
got
past
or last week or whatever.
Mizzou's got Wake Forest. That's right, Sam Hartman and Wake Forest. That's right. They're going to take on an NFL quarterback. Yeah, Sam Hartman and Wake Forest. I've been high on Sam Hartman all year. He's a pretty good quarterback. Wake Forest has no defense.
Well, that's where Mizzou comes in. Mizzou's got a really good defense. They got a mediocre offense, and should be a pretty good game. I thought it was pretty amazing. I don't know what was your take on them not wanting to play Kansas?
Oh, I love the Kansas Jayhawks all year. I've been Kansas KU all year.
One of to fill you in, one of the bets that we couldn't believe over and under 2.5 total wins for the Kansas Jayhawks football team.
Their win total was 2.5.
They start off 4-0.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They've had a really good season. They're an up-and-coming program for sure.
In week 0, I was yelling to take over 2.5.
New stadium, Greg.
Yeah, they're getting a new stadium, new football complex.
They go 4-0, and they announce a huge rebuild of their stadium or remodel or whatever they're doing.
I had to make sure everybody knew I wasn't talking about basketball when I was talking about Kansas in September. I was like, no. This isn't Bill Self's violations in basketball. This is football.
That's tonight, I think. Isn't it tonight? KU.
Oh yeah, KU and Mizzou's playing today too. Yeah, 4 o'clock.
Mizzou's getting 3.5 points. What do you think, Greg?
I mean, Mizzou's played really well. For me, they still don't. It's a team without a real identity.
Yeah.
They haven't really found themselves as of right now. But you never know. I really like the coach. I think the new coach has really kind of instilled some discipline back in the team, which I thought was kind of lacking with Conzo Martin. Well, only time's going to tell. I mean, it's his first year. It's none of his real players. So speaking of that, I'll ask you, what do you think of Deion Sanders going to Colorado?
Ooh,
Prime time. That's right.
I think he should have waited.
Did you hear what he told the players?
I think he should have waited to see what.
He told the players in the first meeting, he's like, you guys all better go to the transfer portal because I'm bringing my baggage with me.
He said, I'm bringing my luggage, and it's Louis, as in Louis Vuitton luggage, So he's bringing his luggage, and it's Louis, so y'all better hit the portal if you're going.
That's what he said. You guys better go to the portal. So, it's kind of unprecedented for a new coach coming in saying
doesn't he want to see what he's got there?
And then, I was just reading an article. I can't remember who it was, but he rescinded one of the guys, high school kid that had committed, got a full ride scholarship, was a 4-star recruit, and he rescinded the guy's college scholarship. No.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
rescinded
strong.
the offer. Yeah.
That's strong.
He
I'm sure the kid will be
letter
fine.
of intent yet.
I'm sure the kid will be fine. He'll
be fine.
Sure.
He'll be fine.
Yeah. But it's Deion's shaking some things.
He should have waited, though. I think he should have waited. See what other jobs are out there.
But look at it from this point. He's going to a place. Yeah. He's going to a place that has no expectations.
Do we know how long he signed for?
5.
Was either 3 to 5 years.
I think it was 5 years, 5 a year, 6 a year, $5 to $6 million a year, 5 years. But he's going to a place with no expectations. He can't go nowhere but up. He's in a good spot there.
The downfall of that whole thing. I mean, if you ever watch anything on him, he really brings a great message to his players. A lot of players, really don't have a lot in life, and he brings a great message to them. He has a lot of discipline, and he makes them realize who they are and how they need to be standing in the world today. The problem is he leaves that HCBU or HBCU now. That's kind of left that program in a shambles. With no other head coach coming in, what happened to the discipline? What happened to everything else now that Coach Prime has left?
Yeah.
Hey, we got a question. We're going to switch back here just for curious. Should Kyler Murray head to baseball now?
Oh, should Kyler Murray head to baseball? Yeah.
Why not?
Kyler Murray was one of the probably
maybe
the best Texas high school football player ever. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah.
He's never lost in Cowboy Stadium. He's never lost
in the state of Texas, maybe.
I can't remember something else. He's never lost playing in Texas Stadium, high school and college.
Yeah, he never lost a high school football game. He was the only 2-time Mr. Texas, best player in Texas 2 times. Yeah, he went to Allen High School, which is a big juggernaut there, and just ran.
But now that he's made some money, that's why we're talking about it. Well, now he's made some money, and he maybe save his body. Maybe he's still young enough he can go to baseball.
Could be.
Yeah, why not?
Could be.
Right. Why not? Save you.
So
he's going to get paid.
So let me ask you this. Obviously, Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes ever, doesn't really get to play with the big club very much. Riding the bus, buys his team a bus. You think Kyler Murray, with his money the way he is, the way he's been treated in the NFL, do you think he's going to want to go down, play AA, play AAA?
I mean, if the choice is playing a professional sport or not,
he doesn't have to work anymore in the rest of his life.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know about his investments, but he may have bought more PlayStation stuff.
Yeah, well, that's okay too.
So,
right?
Can you put your playbook on the PlayStation? Can you?
I bet he's found a way.
Yeah. That would be rather interesting there.
Yeah, why not? Right? Yeah. All right, let's talk a little Green Bay Packers. Come on, we got to do it.
All right, I'm sad about it, but hey, it happens to every team. So I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. I think Aaron Rodgers got to take a lot of blame for himself on that. He shouldn't have skipped OTAs. He should have been there with those new receivers. He should have been trying to build chemistry, and I'm sure it's because he's older. Green Bay has never really helped him out, getting him any weapons per se as far as receivers. I mean, you bring in Sammy Watkins this year as going to be your number 2 receiver compared to Alan Lazard, who is your number 1 receiver.
That's pretty strong.
Who has been basically a third receiver.
Right. I do like this kid Watson, though.
Yeah, I was kind of skeptical of the first part of the year, always hurt. Very first game, very first play, Rodgers throws him a deep ball, goes right through his hands. That was his big knock, as he couldn't hang on the ball. I still say Romeo Doubs will end up being the number 1 receiver at some point in time as soon as he gets healthy. And still that 7th round pick, Samori Toure, I mean, he's another guy that could really turn it on. But I throw some of the shade on to Rodgers. I think Rodgers should have tried to build more of a rapport with those guys. And really worked him into his system. I mean, Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL. I think.
You think still?
I think he can be. But I think he needs to quit pouting and just.
I think his ego's getting in the way
a little bit. I think so. And I'm a huge Rodgers fan, huge Green Bay Packers fan, but I got to throw some shade on him. I mean, I think a lot of it falls with him. I mean, here you got these new guys. I mean, how would you like to be a there you go. How'd you like to be a recruit? You get drafted by the Packers, you're thinking, oh my gosh, Aaron Rodgers is going to be throwing me the ball. I mean, would you just not be ecstatic? Would you just not be like a dog following that guy around?
Yeah,
going,
absolutely.
What can I do? How do you want me to do it? What do you want me to do? You know, instead of just going, go out and do it. We're going to run this route, and I'm going to throw it to you. So, I mean,
you wonder how, bringing back to what I was saying earlier, you wonder how much it impacts those young receivers.
Well, that's what I mean.
You talk about Amari, you know.
Well, you know, I think Amari's troubles was really more with the special teams, you know, the kick return, the punt return, dropping the ball. Really? And they also said he had a hard time knowing the routes to run.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's really tough on, you know, on a receiver. And that's really tough. I mean, obviously, you go from high school, you got a playbook about like this. You know, you go to college, now your playbook's like this. Now you go to the NFL, and your playbook's like this. So, you know, it's a lot of information you got to know. And obviously, going from a college program, they may never, the NFL may never run any of those plays. You know, compared to what your college program. So you got to learn a whole new playbook, especially you know, an offensive playbook, a lot bigger than defensive playbook. For receiver, you got to know which route to run on every play. No matter if it's a running play or not, you still have to be able to take that safety or that cornerback or that linebacker. You got to be able to take him out of the play. You got to know how to do that.
Yeah, Amari ran one play, 60-yard pass from Trevor Lawrence.
and there it is.
Run under the ball. It's going to be there, kid.
Is Trevor Lawrence still in the league?
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
still.
Oh, stop! He looks much better this year.
Yeah. I think he did get his hair cut a little bit.
A little bit. Well, I mean, Jacksonville's okay. They've shown flashes of being good.
You know, they're an upcoming team, but you just
I like that transition. Let's get off the Packers.
Doesn't bother me one way or another.
No, I know, and I'm always rooting for you. You know, I'm always rooting for you. I'm not a Packer fan. Baltimore.
Well, not everybody can be with the elite.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm working on it though.
They're okay.
Yeah, where was I headed?
They got Packers going to have a big time, tough time coming back next year, man, with a lot of unrestricted free agents, a lot of guys that have a lot of money that's owed to them. They're going to be way over the cap. You know, a big thing, David Bakhtiari, obviously one of the best left tackles ever playing the league, hurt by a knee injury, been out almost 2 years, playing mostly this year, missed one game due to an appendectomy. But, I mean, he's owed big-time money, and they're saying, hey, maybe we need to move on from him and create some cap space for ourselves. So I think you'll see a lot of restructuring going around with the cap space.
I mean, Rodgers is locked in that guaranteed money, right?
Well, Rodgers locked in. If he comes back, he's owed $50 million next year.
He's coming back then.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why he would leave that money on the table. You know, a lot of people saying, oh, he's going to be traded. Well, who's going to want to take on that contract? And
nobody.
And
I'd be surprised.
And, well, let's face it. So how many more years is Rodgers going to play? 1, 2,
maybe
3,
maybe.
Okay, so you're going to take on a $50 million contract for next year.
He's not going to go anywhere. I mean, does he have in his trade? Does he have in his clause that he gets to pick where he gets to go?
He's not going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's not going to Carolina Panthers.
Not going to Denver. Denver looks terrible.
So, well, Denver's supposedly all in for him. You know, Denver's got some really good receivers, and they got some other stuff too.
They got good defense.
So,
yeah, they have so disappointed me this year, and I'm not a Denver fan, but I can't believe they can't score more than 10 points.
I think I've always said that I thought Russell Wilson was not an elite quarterback. He's in that second-tier quarterback. Just same with Dak Prescott for the Cowboys. I don't think he's an elite quarterback.
I agree with that.
You know,
I'm taking my
look at the
everything out.
His name escapes me, but you know, when Prescott was out injured, their backup come in. Yeah, Rush.
He played great.
Won 4 straight games for him.
Yeah.
They were on the snide. He comes in, runs 4 straight games. I mean, that guy should be playing in the NFL next year.
Cooper Rush, he did good last year. Cooper Rush, he did good last year. And I'm like, man, let's see what this kid can do. They're playing for him.
I get it.
Right? They're playing hard for him.
Right. Well, maybe Dak's not getting enough rest on his sleep number bed.
Dak in the sleep number. Yeah, it's gonna be Dak in the playoff number this year,
right.
Though.
It's just like all Cowboys fans, very excited about their team. They choke in the playoffs, and it's one of my greatest things.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, you know, they blew it last year too.
Yep.
San Francisco beat them. Although, gosh, the Cowboys came back, had a chance last year in that game. But
right.
There's some low totals, actually, this week. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
Well,
Baltimore's 36.5.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of low totals this last few weeks in the NFL. They thank you. Yeah, it's the offensive heavy overs. Oh, that was for the previous one. It wasn't twice. Okay, that beep, whatever that was. I don't know what that was.
36.5, Baltimore. Steelers in Baltimore.
Yeah, that's low.
Yeah, really low.
Oh, before you go, you only have like 8 minutes or whatever. Then you gotta head out.
Yeah, we're certainly doing.
Wait, I'll talk the Army Navy game today.
Yeah.
Tell everybody what you said on 590 last night.
So, since 2006, the Army Navy game has went over 16 years in a row.
Under.
I'm sorry, under.
Under.
16
Since
years
2006, the game has gone
it's
under.
It's 16-0 on unders.
If you started with $100 in 2006.
If you started with $100, okay, and you bet 100 in 2006, and you rolled your bet over every year until now, 100, 200, 4, 8, 16, 32, and so on, you'd have $3.5 million.
I would have stopped way before that. I would have never got to 3.5 million.
My theory, I would have stopped after my first bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that money coming in. I don't like that money going out.
Yeah. You'd have had to make some big bets because you're rolling them from 100 to you win. You got 200, and then 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and so on. So
I'm surprised you got that far.
Well, you had his shoes off.
It goes up to 3.5 million.
Yeah, 3.5 million. I would have never got to 3.5 million. But that's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, it's went over 16 years in a row.
So the over under is 32.5.
Yeah, 32.5 on the total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an ugly game to watch. It's like if I see a 32 total, I don't even want to watch it. That's a hard game to watch.
That's a brutal under to take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take it just because I'm celebrating, It's Army, Navy. I'm going to ride the under train. But
you're also going to take it because it's the only college football game.
Well, yeah, maybe. But it's...
and it's
got the allure. It's got the allure of that 16 under winning streak here. So, that's why we're going to take the under. But you said yesterday on 590 that it could be 12 and you'd take the under.
Yeah, he would. He would take the under. Yeah.
I'd hope for that.
7-3 final.
Yeah, the 7-3 final.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of low totals, we've got a Kentucky-Iowa bowl game with Will Levis not playing for Kentucky. That line's 31 now.
That's unbelievable.
Oh.
God, these are going to be some hard games to watch.
Kentucky and Iowa and Will Levis not playing. They say he's going to be an NFL quarterback. I don't buy it. They say he's going to be in the draft.
I don't know him either.
No.
We follow Iowa because that's where my son wants to go. But
he wants to go to Iowa?
He does.
Yeah.
And make the best offensive lineman. That's his thing.
So the guy in the dorms when I was going to Arizona State recruited me to go to the first Iowa State Bowl that I've been to. It was in Phoenix. And I don't remember who they played, somebody from the East Coast, but man, those people can party. Iowa State. I mean, I'm just saying, I became a Hawkeye fan. It's like a secondary just because I was friends.
Iowa State?
Iowa State's the Cyclones.
Cyclones, that's what I meant. That's how long it's been since I've even watched Iowa State, anything. Yep. But in college, it was Arizona State, Iowa State, and then Mizzou. That was my rooting order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. After I went to one party with all these Iowa State fans, they recruited me. That's how I'm all in. Yeah, I'm all in. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So, are you a basketball guy?
Yeah, somewhat.
Somewhat. Yeah, John.
I got a few picks today.
Yeah, why don't you give them out before we're gonna, and then Ryan's gonna be joining us. I don't think you've met Ryan, but super nice young man. Very smart young man. He's gonna join us, and he's been giving out winners all year.
Yeah, he said he picked the exact score of the Iowa State game this year.
Yeah,
he said hammer the under. I think this game's going to finish 10-7.
Yeah.
And it finishes 10-7. Iowa State wins.
That's an 80-1 shot.
Yeah, it's impossible. Almost impossible.
$80 for every $1. It's almost impossible. Yeah. But we had one guy walk by here and That guy made me 8,000 last week.
Yeah.
Never forget. That's
when
we first got started.
For 8,000.
Yeah, 8,000. It's only $100 bill.
Huh?
It's a $100 bill.
Oh, on the 80 to 1 shot.
On the 80 to 1 shot. Yeah. It's still a nice score.
Yeah.
Right? Or he might have bet 4,000 on the under. Who knows? I don't know what he bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he said that Ryan. So Ryan's going to be joining us here in about 5 minutes. John, I know you got to get out of here. Why don't you give out some picks before you go?
Alabama, Houston. Houston's number 1 in the country. I've been high on them all year since the NCAA tournament last year when they decided they couldn't score any points in that tournament. But yeah, they play Alabama this today, and that game last year was incredible. It was like a track meet, David, just like a boom, 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 boom pinball machine. I mean, back and forth, back and forth. I have no idea why this total's sitting at 130. It's went up to 138. It was. It opened at 134.5.
That's a big movement.
Went up to 138 because everybody's hammering the under. So, Vegas is like, hey, stop betting the under. We're going to move this thing up, So it's a 138. I'd take it all the way to 144. This thing's just going to be a track meet. So I'll take the over on top 10 matchup of the day, Alabama and Houston. So that's going to be a good one. We're going to go off the board for the next pick. We're going to go to, you got to give the little guys some love, Greg. You got to give them some love. The Patriot League, the American East Conference, the Northeastern Conference, the MEAC. You got to give these guys some love. So let's go to Drexel and LaSalle.
Wow.
The Explorers of LaSalle. They're going to be trying to explore a cover of 3.5 today. So LaSalle's
you got to dig deep for this.
Yeah, this is LaSalle's an A-10 team. That's SLU. Yeah, they're an A-10 team playing a Colonial athletic team. You got to give the little guys some love, David. So we're going to go LaSalle to cover 3.5 here. Drexel's been pretty bad. So let's take LaSalle at home to cover the 3.5, and why not buy the hook all the time? Just buy it down to 3, pay the 120. So, let's go LaSalle and the over on Alabama-Houston. Let's see if the Explorers can explore a cover.
All right. John's going to have to get out of here. Let's
they're the LaSalle Explorers.
A 3-minute break. And
against the Drexel Dragons.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes. Then Ryan Kinder will be joining us. Greg, you going to hang out with us?
Sure.
All right, great. We'll be back. Ryan Kinder, Greg Damon. All right, we take a quick break.
Thanks, guys.
Domination. I've got a golden ticket.
That's a winner!
Domination. I've got a golden ticket.
That's a winner!
Domination. I've got a golden ticket.
That's a winner!
Welcome back, everyone. We're here live at DraftKings at Casino Queen. Now joining Greg Damon and I is Ryan Kinder. Ryan, what's going on this morning?
What's happening, Dave? Good to
be
here. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We've been talking a lot, all kinds of different things. Greg, let's go back to the Packers. We didn't finish with them. You want to talk a little defense?
Oh, man. What defense? What defense? Supposed to be one of the top 5 defenses in the NFL this year. Man, they cannot stop the run to save their life. And it's really sad with the kind of talent that they have that they can't do it. I think it's obviously the scheme of Joe Barry. He's been a failure wherever he's went. He's been let go, whether it be Detroit or the Rams. And so, I mean, I don't understand. I really I hope he's not here next year. I think that's the whole thing. I mean, they've got some real talent up front, and they just can't stop anything.
Ryan?
I agree. Yeah. I can't. Well, their offense is starting to look better. You know, Christian Watson's a bright point. You know, I think he's a good young wide receiver.
Getting Romeo Dobbs back as well.
Yeah, it's starting to, he's starting to get some chemistry. I was very surprised that Devontae Adams walked. You know, that's always been Aaron Rodgers' #1 guy. But, it's starting to click. But like he said, if you don't play defense, it doesn't matter.
Well, that's just what it is. I mean, you're always playing catch-up. And, obviously I think next year is going to be completely different than what it is this year with the receivers having another, more experience. Hopefully Rodgers is smart enough to not skip OTAs and, get some chemistry going with everybody else. I mean, they still have 2 of the best running backs in the league. But they've really got to do something with their defense, man. You just cannot let guys just run all over you.
How do you like the head coach? Are you okay?
Oh, I think LaFleur is a decent coach. I mean, look what he's done up until this year. It's really funny, you read all these forums and you read stuff about it, and it's like calling for his head. It's like, what you guys were just loving him last year, and the year before, and the year before. So it'll be fun to see Mike McCarthy explode in Dallas, though.
Yeah, they couldn't have. Last year I was like, man, really? I mean, this is the guy they bring in, right? Really showing that I think they could have won more Super Bowls in Green Bay if Mike McCarthy wasn't ever there.
Oh, I think you're probably right. But there again, it's always been Green Bay's thing. They've never surrounded Aaron Rodgers with really any talent. Devontae Adams, fifth round pick, I think, has just first year was crap, just like the receivers we have now. The second year, he really started turning it on and became Rodgers' favorite target. So, but I think you have to have some sort of chemistry with a signal caller that makes a lot of audibles at the line of scrimmage and stuff like that. You got to know what's going on.
Right.
I think one thing Rodgers didn't make it easy for him with the cap hit. It's hard to get him some talent around where you got to pick. Where Tom Brady, he takes the pay cut to get the stars around him. He's a big cap hit, and it's hard to suit a star at every position when you got a cap hit at quarterback like that.
Well, he may not do that anymore since his wife, who makes $1 gazillion, isn't around. So he may want to get more money.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It's just that that I know the Rams, when they were at their best, it's before they started paying Jared Goff.
Correct.
That you can pay all those other positions if you got a cheap quarterback. But with the money he's making, they got to figure something out there.
That's what I don't understand about a lot of athletes. That they want all the money they can possibly get, but they don't realize that there's only so much money to go around. And if you're taking a lot of money, that means lesser talent's available around you.
Right.
I mean, you got 53 players. A lot of players to pay.
You also have practice team players and other people that you have to pay as well. So that all figures into the cap.
Yeah. Ryan,
they're gonna have a tough time next year. I'm telling you, they are up against the cap next year, and I think you're going to see some people from Green Bay not be there that have been stalwarts for sure.
I am curious to see what they do with Rodgers. I don't think they can get rid of him. I mean, I don't think so.
Not now.
Who's going to take him at $50 million?
Well, that's just it. What team is going to pay him? Denver has supposedly wanted him for the last 3 years, but I mean, who's going to pay $50 million a year for him and owe Green Bay something?
Hopefully, Love. Maybe they can turn Love into another offensive threat. If they could trade him for a cheap receiver.
Is he in his last year of his contract?
They have to option to pick. Next year will be his 5th year option.
Okay.
I wonder if he's not what they thought he was, because they took a 2nd-round pick on him, and then we haven't seen much of him. Yeah, traded up to get him, and then we haven't seen much of him. We thought he was the future in Green Bay.
There's a big knock his first full year. I mean, obviously you got to kind of rule out that whole COVID couple years, but the knock on him was he could not learn the playbook. That was a big issue.
A pretty big issue when you're a quarterback. any position, but that's really an issue.
Well, sure, because even in youth football, the quarterback's telling guys where to get into position. They got to know.
Yeah, on the other side of the ball, the defense. Maybe you can explain it to me, but I see a lot of young players are running the defense out there. That's surprising me. A lot of rookies, first, second-year players are the quarterback of the defense.
Right. Where it depends on where you come from and what kind of defensive scheme that you have run, and it depends if you're a leader on the team. There's a lot of guys that just go out and just want to do their job, and they don't want to be responsible for everybody else on the team or on their side of the ball. So it really depends on who steps up to the plate and what they have to do. Usually, you're going to have one of your inside linebackers are usually the guys that are kind of running that because they can see a little bit better than everybody else. So they're more likely going to be your leaders.
So would you like to have Parsons?
Well, of course. Who wouldn't want to have Parsons?
This kid is unbelievable. I wanted to talk about him for a long time. He's unbelievable.
He is unbelievable. He's done some really, really good stuff. Can only get better and better. But there again, you never know. You've seen guys that come out and have really just turned it on, and the next year is non-existent. So, see what happens.
He looks like he's getting better and better. I don't know.
I mean, I would certainly take a flyer on him if he was available.
Take a flyer?
That's right.
That's pretty funny.
But I think they'll probably try to adapt the defense or mold the defense around him.
Yeah, one of the things we don't talk a lot about on the show until after football season is hockey, and I know that's one of your favorite places to be. Yeah, I mean, let's start with the Blues. We can talk some other hockey, but the Blues are so frustrating.
They stink.
Yeah.
They stink.
Yeah, what's going on?
I mean, they have no defense. Their defense is horrible. I mean, they just leave their goalies hang out to dry. It looks like Bennington's frustrated again, maybe going through a slump like he did last year. You bring in this other goalie, Thomas Grice, who you paid, I think, like $3.50 for the year.
Basically, right?
Well, I mean,
he's not getting paid anything.
He's hardly getting paid anything, and he was a decent goalie with the Islanders, and but. I don't know. Do you put, first of all, let's just start with the goaltending position. It seems like the Blues have put all their stock into Bennington. Is he a starter for 60 games a year? I don't know. It seems like he kind of.
It's hard to tell with the defense the way it is.
It's hard. You're right, and I mean that's just it. They leave him hung out to dry. I mean, Justin Fox, probably your best defenseman you have. Colton Parayko has just really never lived up to his potential per se.
That's a shame. It really is, because we put a lot of
first couple. Well, why do you think they let Pietrangelo go?
That's what I'm saying. We put a lot in him and hoping he was going to step up and be Pietrangelo.
He was hurt, back issue last year. Still, I mean, he's still a very capable defenseman, but you need him as that number one shutdown guy, and he really hasn't lived up to it.
But they show flashes. That's what's hard. Are they not? This is what I wanted to ask you, and Ryan, I want your thoughts too. Are they not playing for the coach? I mean,
I don't necessarily think they're playing for the coach. One of the things is coaches can only do so much. At some point in time, the players have to step up and play. I mean, these guys are all professional athletes, so they've been around. They played hockey almost their entire lives.
Yeah,
they've got to be able to get together and figure this out. The coach has a system. The system obviously works. I mean, it has worked the past 3 years. So why are they not stepping up? I mean, to me, the defense seems at fault. Torrey Krug, I was pretty excited about the signing when they got him.
Yeah, me too.
He is really kind of regressed in my opinion. He was hurt last year as well. The whole COVID thing really kind of messed things up. But I don't know. To me, they've got to do something and trade for a defenseman, or they've got to do something. Figure out what you're going to do with Tarasenko as well. I mean, he is not playing like he was last year.
No, he's not even close to playing what he was like last year. But we might be able to get him. And Ryan, what do you think? We might be able to get him for a decent price if he wants to stick around.
Well, that's the knock is that he doesn't want to stick around. I mean,
he doesn't. He still wants to go.
Well, that's what the pundits are saying. But I mean, who knows unless you talk to him directly.
I don't know how much leverage he's going to have if he doesn't have a season like he did last year. If it was last year and he was done with his contract, he would have got paid.
With a cup team that needs a little, goal support, I think we'd get the right team at the right time. We could, get a haul for them. And that's what we need because we're a couple players away. We're not one player away from being a Stanley Cup team right now.
Right.
Who knew Perron was actually a lot of people knew, but I think that's part of, he made the players around him better. We're not getting as much out of Ryan O'Reilly, I don't know. It's a disaster right now. They got a lot to fix.
Well, the thing was they basically decided to keep Nick Leddy over David Perron. That's the whole issue. Is Nick Leddy been the stud of the defense? He's a decent defenseman, but I mean he's certainly not like he was in earlier in his career. But you never know. Perron may be back for another stint with the Blues. What's he been here like 15 times?
Yeah.
I was surprised. He seems to show us that loyalty. I figured, he might give us a hometown discount.
Well, I will tell you this. It's like playing baseball in this town. Players love to play here. I mean, the crowd support, the fan support, I don't care how bad the Blues are. They show up.
Right.
We show up. And we can't wait to turn on the TV till the next game and then we'll be upset, right? I mean, we love to win, but we also like to complain when we lose. I mean, we're still showing up and we're still buying the tickets and we're still buying the gear and we're great fans here in St. Louis.
The biggest thing, and that's what going back to the Cardinals is, the Cardinals are competitive every year. Okay?
Every year.
There's very few years that the Cardinals are not competitive. But the Blues are. It seems like they're either on or they're off. They're on or they're off. So they need to just stay competitive. And I think Doug Armstrong did a great job. I talk about a guy again. Here we go next year with the cap hit that they're going to get with everybody they have, and they've got like 9 guys that have no trade clauses, and they're going to shell out a lot of money for these players and not have enough to be able to bring people up.
Well, Kyrou and Thompson both got pretty much identical contracts. What do you think about that? I think that's a lot of money for those two guys.
I think it's a lot of money early in their careers. They've showed flashes to be studs throughout their career. You've kind of got them locked up, but you give them no trade clauses on top of it. I don't know. That's a big thing for me.
It's a risk, kind of like the Atlanta Braves. They sign as soon as they show a flash of talent, they throw a bag of money at them because the thought is if they develop into what they think they're going to be a lot more expensive down the road.
If they got $4 or $5 million guys, right, that equals $120 million guy if they get something out of them.
Armstrong always finds a way to make the cap work. It's always
Correct.
amazing, though. I have faith in him that, I'd never blame it on our GM. He always gives us a chance.
I think he's one of the best GMs that the Blues have ever had. But going back to Perron, here's what, the reason they gave Kyrou all that money, they're thinking Kyrou's going to pick up the slack of what Perron, pick up more goals and kind of help out where Perron wasn't, since he's not going to be here. That's kind of their thought process. And they're talking about another guy. He shows flashes like he could just tear it up in the league. And the next game is like, was he even on the ice tonight? I don't know. I think Robert Thomas brings you the same thing every night. He's going to work hard. Him. You're right. He's going to work hard every night. He's going to get a few goals. He's going to be a great setup guy. He is really going to work hard for you every night. There's no doubt about it.
He's only 22.
I know. And then Kyrou,
he's like 21, right?
Yeah, but
crazy.
Kyrou is kind of like, sometimes have you ever played the game of hockey before? Do you know how this works? Because you're over here and the puck's over here. I don't know. So, but they definitely need a few defensemen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm no hockey expert, but every time I watch, it seems like the puck's in our zone for 10 minutes. We don't clear the puck, and so I don't even know if it's a goalie problem. You can only play so well when you're taking 20 more shots on goal.
That's what I mean. You leave your goalie hung out to dry because your defense can't keep it up. So.
No, I agree. I mean, for all the delusions, I don't think we're not even a playoff team right now.
Well, I think we're a playoff team, but I think it's a first-round playoff team.
Yeah, maybe.
We're sitting around 500. Is that where we're at?
Around.
Right.
Yeah.
They go on a winning streak, and then they go on a big losing streak. And
when they're winning and they're dominating, like they went on that 8-game winning streak. It's or 7-game, I believe it was 7 games, something like that. 6-7 games.
7 games, and I think we had a losing streak that was pretty.
8 games.
Yeah, 8 games.
Yeah, I mean, but the winning streak, you look like, how do we lose, right?
Well, here's a big stat. If you really want to get down to it, I think they're the only team that has given up 3 goals in a row this year. And like they have given up, like they go in, they're leading 4-3, going into the third period. Next thing you know, the other team scores 3 goals in the third period.
Yeah. Well, we were at 5-1 the other night with 10 minutes to go, and it was 5-4 in a blink of an eye.
Right.
I said, the Blues look like they're going to win tonight. And hold on.
To me,
there's 3 minutes to go, and it's 5-4. And then we ended up winning 7-4, but that's,
To me, it seems like what I always tell my wife is, it's like, they go into like this, they think this prevent defense to where everybody's back in the zone, but still they run around and can't get the puck out. I say be on the attack the entire time.
I agree with that.
That's their downfall to me, is they sometimes just don't attack. They just need to push the puck forward and attack constantly. And I think that would really help them out. But there again, I'm not an NHL coach. So
that's all right. We're having fun here live at DraftKings at Casino Queen, here with Greg Damon from KMOX, Ryan Kinder, our analyst. Ryan, I want to get into a little NFL, right? You got any big picks for us tomorrow?
Any big picks? I don't know if I have necessarily big picks, but got some good picks. We're going to go. I like at the 12 o'clock slate. I'm a big Bengals guy this week. Like I said, I'm starting to think they're going to be, maybe going back to the Super Bowl. The beginning of the year, they looked like a disaster.
They look fantastic right now.
But right now, everything's clicking. Hopefully, they can keep that going to the end of the season.
I have become not only I love a fan of football, but I've become a Joe Burrow fan.
How can you not be a Joe Burrow fan?
It's hard to root against.
It is. It is so hard. And I don't know him, obviously, personally, but he seems like a decent enough guy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like to root for. I mean, he's talented, and I mean Herbert. And what happened to him, man? He was another guy I was rooting for, and I'm not a Chargers fan either. But I mean, I want to root for him too. But he's kind of like taking a step back.
He's a little regressed.
Is he hurt?
But I don't know necessarily. He is hurt. He's had rib issues all year.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And he gets no defensive help. That's a team that they just no matter what they were missing their best defensive player last year. Comes back, defense still isn't any better. It's just no matter what they find a way to get in shootouts, and that's not a good way to win. Last year they would come back and win the game. They did this year against the Cardinals 2 weeks ago. They went for 2, and I thought, hey, this might be the start of something. After they took that risky, then right back a loss to the Raiders.
I have to say, I know I keep saying I adopted the Raiders as my team this year. Thursday night, we talked about this on the radio last night. I had a couple parlays. I had the Raiders -6.5, right, and then I also had Raiders money line. That was gross. Did you watch Thursday night?
I did.
That was sickening. Baker Mayfield.
I did.
And I like Baker too, right? I mean, the first game he ever comes in, 13-point deficit.
2 days of practice. 2 days of practice with the Rams, calling plays.
I mean, I know we're all
really
over
one day of practice because the day you got there, they didn't have practice.
Right.
I know we're all over the place. We got to talk a little Baker because I root for the guy. I like the commercials.
Yeah. Do you think he's moved into SoFi Stadium now?
I mean, when Matt Stafford, he's got to be. They got to sign him to be QB2 until Stafford's done.
Yeah,
Stafford may retire now. I think.
Well, too many concussions.
I know it's way too early, one game, but I'm a Baker guy. Give him a shot in L.A.
Stafford's the guy that
He's already on camera, right? He's already doing commercials. He's in a perfect spot. Give him a shot.
Yeah, let's see what happens the second game with Baker Mayfield.
I understand. Who they playing?
The Packers. So they're
playing the Packers.
They got an easy game. So they'll be hopefully back on track now.
That's going to be interesting, though. They are. It's amazing. I'm a Raiders. I want to go back to the Raiders. What a disappointment for me as a Raider fan. I'm an anything Las Vegas fan. Like if you go, I'm a Blues fan first, but I'm rooting for the Golden Knights when the Blues aren't playing. Just because I love Las Vegas, I've loved it since I was a kid.
That stadium, it's.
I want to go. Have you been?
No, I've only seen it when we're in Vegas.
We're going next year.
Just every time I see it.
Sure.
We're going to Vegas next year. Maybe we can figure out a way to do our show from out there.
There you go.
And go to.
Is that Allegiant Stadium?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah. I want to go there.
Let's
pick up a hockey game and a football game while we're out there.
Yeah.
Does Derek Carr wear mascara or not?
I don't care.
He's just beautiful.
He's gone though. He's done.
You think?
I think
he's only been done for the past 4 years.
No, he's done. No, they're done with him.
Maybe they can get Baker Mayfield.
I don't think Derek Carr's that bad. I don't think he's. I think he's done.
I think he's a second string.
Yeah.
Or second tier quarterback.
I absolutely agree. He's definitely in the middle or towards the bottom. I think there was times where I thought Derek Carr, I'm waiting for him to break out. But
maybe Rodgers will go there.
Maybe it was his brother playing when he was playing really good. I don't know. maybe Rodgers does go. Maybe Rodgers does go to. I mean, what with his ego and Las Vegas. I mean,
but the
that
contract,
could work.
like we talked about, who could
they
take
might
on
pay
that
it.
cap
They
hit?
might pay it.
Right, but they already paid Devontae Adams.
They did.
But
what a great reunion in Vegas, right?
Well, I think Devontae Adams might have wanted to get away from him.
I think so too.
Yeah, nobody ever knows what.
That was surprising that Devontae Adams didn't re-sign with Green Bay. I was very surprised.
I don't necessarily think that he necessarily wanted to get away from the Raiders. I think he wanted to get away from Green Bay as far as the way they do stuff and things like that. So.
Oh, okay. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. They're playing amazing, right? I'm not a fan of Deshaun Watson. Whatever went on personally, not a fan.
You mean his first NFL career or his second NFL career?
I want the Browns. I would like to see them do something. Not
the fact that they gave him all that guaranteed money.
That's
after
crazy.
One accusation is something, but when it's 30, there might be where there's smoke, there's fire.
The owners don't care.
They don't care. They give them all guaranteed money.
Jerry Jones is notorious for
Robert Kraft called him and asked him where he goes. I mean, it's just.
Wow, that's wrong. I like it. All right, we're a little bit. I got it. Ryan likes conspiracy theories, so I want him to throw one at Greg, and let's see where we go with it, because we've got some time. Are you okay for a little bit longer?
Sure.
Okay. Ryan's got some a couple conspiracy theories that we need to bring back up. I want your opinion on some of these.
Man, I'm drawing a blank right now.
All right, we'll come back to it.
Football related. I will think of my conspiracies.
Well, it can be anything.
Okay.
It can be anything.
Yeah,
Greg talks about everything on his show.
Okay.
Yeah, Greg. Yeah, I mean, one of the things when Greg has me on is we talk horse. He brings me on. We talk horse racing, and this is one of the things I haven't really been able to follow horse racing that much lately. But what's very exciting for me, we're just going to talk a minute about this for horse racing wise. Oaklawn Park in Hot Springs, Arkansas. We did the show twice live from their sports book last year during March Madness. If anybody ever gets a chance to go to Hot Springs and go to Oaklawn, they have this amazing, humongous casino. They don't have poker, but they got everything else, and they got this beautiful sports book, and the racing is top notch. And did you know it's the only track that I know of or ever heard of where they no sponsorship.
Wow.
Like all these big races, they paid at first money to come in and be sponsors. They use their own money. It's the oldest. The Sella family owns it, and it's the oldest racing family in the United States.
Wow.
And they put up all the purse money themselves. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, and it is a beautiful facility. The food's amazing. I can't wait to get back there in February. I'm so excited. I mean, I don't talk much about horse racing here, but yeah, very exciting. So I can't wait to get back down there this year. And one of my dream places, if anybody's ever been to Saratoga in New York, upstate New York, I think it's upstate New York, but Saratoga Springs, we're gonna have to. Have you ever been to Churchill Downs, Greg?
I have.
Okay, do you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, I was not there. I shouldn't say that. I was not there for a race. I just went there because we happened to be in Louisville for some stuff.
So we talked about, Clemson and I talked about, Clemson will play Louisville. And when they do that, you've got racing during the day, and you've got the Clemson-Louisville game in the evening. So all this stuff coming up, may not this year, but next year hopefully we can be on location at some of these places and do a combination horse racing, football, or horse racing, basketball, hockey. Definitely, maybe we do need to take a Vegas trip next year and see if we can do our show from out there. And I know a few sportsbook managers that might be interested in us coming out there, and that'd be a lot of fun. And go to a game. Let's go to a hockey game, Planet. We'll go to hockey and a football game.
I'll tell you a funny story about the stadium there in Louisville. So we were there on vacation, and so we're driving by the stadium. My older son was playing baseball at the time. And so we look at the Louisville baseball stadium. We drive by the football stadium, and I see a door that's open. I see a gate that's open. So I pull in there. He's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "Come on, let's go." So I get my two kids out of the car and my wife, and we walk through this door where they're just bringing food in. And I walk down to the stadium, and we get down to the 50-yard line, and my kids are like scared to death. We're the only ones in the stadium, and some guy starts yelling at us. I'm waving to him. He's like, "They're going to arrest us. We just took a few pictures and left.
That's neat.
He goes, I can't believe we broke into the stadium.
It's open. It's a huge open.
Yeah, it was nice. It was really cool looking.
And what's really cool is from the stadium you see Churchill Downs, and from Churchill Downs you see the stadium. I am not going to go to the Derby this coming up year, from what I know, but the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby is a year and a half away, so a year from this May, and they're doing millions of dollars of remodeling. It needs an upgrade. It's old. Yeah, and I've talked with my friend James Scully, who's been on the show many times to handicap many big races, and I can't wait to get up there. I got to be up there for the 150th Derby. I'm going to want to take my wife and kid, and hopefully a bus load of us, and maybe we'll do our show from up there. So we got a lot of things in the works for next year, or this year's coming to a close. This has been We've done this now for 14 months, 13 months, 14 months, Greg. And I just want to let everybody know my friend Greg Damon is the reason why all this exists. And I just want to say thank you in front of everybody.
Oh, stop! Now,
I mean it.
What that tear?
What was how many years ago did you say, hey, you want to come on and talk some horse racing?
Oh, I don't know, what, 5? Maybe?
Yeah, something like that. 5, 6 years ago. He said, hey, you want to come on and talk some horse racing? I said, well, I'll talk horse racing anywhere.
That was the first time you were on
First
air?
time I was on there, and I got the bug.
And now I can't stop him.
Now I can't.
He keeps calling me every day.
Yeah. No, but hey, I had my biggest win day ever. Who gave out a big winner? That's right. On Derby Day, not last year, but the year
My wife
before.
loves you, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't do I had a really good Derby this year with the was it 70 to 1 shot that won? I don't even remember. 50 to 1 shot that won. I had an all ticket. So I ended my $1 daily double paid $976. And it got me winner. And that $1 ticket paid $976. It was a backup ticket.
All I know is my wife. Anytime there's a big race coming, I was like, "Have you talked to your friend David yet? Has he got any picks for me?"
That might have been your wife's a good handicapper. She's got some winners too, right?
She has. Don't tell her that.
Is she watching?
Never know. She may be. I don't know.
All right. Well, if you see this, keep that handicapping up. Maybe that's not what I should have said. But okay. All right. I want to get into Ryan's picks while you're here, and get your thoughts on them. So Ryan, I know you got 4 picks. I got them written down, and you've got. We went over the Bengals. We like the Bengals -5.5, right? That's
Yes,
who we like.
sir.
Okay. Let's talk about the Vikings. The Vikings, no respect. Vikings. I agree with you. They are dogs. 10-2 Vikings are 2-point dogs.
And I love the Lions.
I like the Lions
it's
also.
Not, if anyone's going to overrate the Lions, it's me.
How's
but
Jared Goff doing what he's doing? We'll get into that after your
Somebody
pick.
let their son set the line, get the computer.
It's got to be a mistake. It's the
first
line I've said in a long time. This is something wrong. Lions are 2-point favorites against the Vikings.
I'm telling you what, the Lions are playing fantastic, man. They have figured it out, and they are playing fantastic.
Jared Goff. Who knew?
Wow.
That's what the Lions needed.
Just imagine Jared Goff in L.A. now.
I think it's more of Jamal Williams. I think it's the run game, not I think their whole offense.
Oh, Amon St. Brown, though. That
He's
guy's
great.
A stud.
Yeah. I put him in my fantasy lineup last week. I would have not cashed it all if it wasn't for him. He had 38 fantasy points last week.
Who's the Lions running back?
Jamal Williams, and then they got a 2-headed monster.
Yeah. What's that?
Where'd Jamal Williams come from?
I was wondering where he was going with this.
I know it's Green Bay. Yeah, I mean, all right, but seriously,
I think you guys let him go, though.
They did. Yeah. They let him go.
But
for
no respect. No respect. Minnesota Vikings. What is up? They're 10-2.
It's
They're
Kirk
good.
Cousins. That's why nobody respects him.
Oh, man, I don't get that. I get that you say on prime time Kirk Cousins isn't. I mean, they'll lose 38-35, and people go, "Man, Kirk Cousins is an idiot." It's what? It's not always his fault. A lot of the times there's shootouts that they lose. The defense has to step up every now and then. He has choked a couple times on prime time. That has happened. But I think he gets some unfair criticism.
Well, he's Jimmy Garoppolo. That's what it is. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
He's serviceable, a good serviceable. I put him in. I don't know if I go second tier, but he's
do you go him
5.
as a first tier quarterback?
I think he's right after that.
I think he's on the cusp.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he's not Mahomes, but I do think he's better than average.
I'll say that. The way I look at stuff like that is, if you've got 1:30 left to go in the game and you need a touchdown, who do you want as your quarterback?
Baker Mayfield than Patrick Mahomes.
That's fantastic. I love it. Great response. But Vikings getting 2 points. I'm taking it.
Yeah, this is my favorite bet of the week, personally.
Yeah. Do you have if all things being equal, line being equal, who do you like in this game?
Well, I think with the success, you got to go with the Vikings. I'm always waiting for the Lions to stub their toe again. I think they're definitely a team on the rise next year. I think they're going to be phenomenal.
Love their coach, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Why would you not want him as your coach?
Exactly.
Seriously.
And I think he has bred that discipline and bred that being awesomeness into that organizations, which they haven't had it for a long time. You know what I mean? He's definitely a player's coach. So
Yeah.
I think it's
Jared Goff. I mean, I am not a fan of his, but I mean, he's playing well. He's playing well enough.
Their defense, if they get a little bit better, that's a team to watch out for. Because their defense is not so hot, but man, their offense is something special.
So, I mean, we are taking Minnesota plus the 2, right?
Right. I'm just saying that this is no knock on the Lions. This is just that Vikings are one of the best teams in football. You know, they got blown out one game, and everybody's ready to write them off.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at Philly, right? I mean, look at Philly. I mean, Washington beats them. We both like the money line with Washington. Well, I took the points. You like the money line with Washington. Washington gives their Philly's first loss of the year.
Yeah.
Right?
We were all over that one on the show.
We had a good time. Yeah. Yeah, we had a good time. And, yeah, Ryan's been on it all year. I think you've only had like 2 losing weeks all year. Ryan absolutely putting together some nice tickets for me and for whoever's listening. All right, I know you like the 49ers. The line's 3.5. Who are they playing at quarterback?
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy. Yep. Still.
Yeah.
That was a mistake. You know, I was under the impression that maybe Trey. I didn't realize he was going to be out for so long. I thought Jimmy Garoppolo just won that starting job back, but I've heard Trey Lance won't be back no matter what.
He's not coming back at all.
So who's backing up Purdy?
Because I thought maybe playoffs, if Trey Lance was in there, maybe 49ers watch out for him. No, he's not coming back.
I heard
Jimmy Garoppolo can come back
for the playoffs.
Yeah, for the playoffs. Maybe.
Okay, so this Purdy guy, right? I don't know anything about him. What do you know? Not much, right?
I mean, Brock Purdy. I know that he's got a cool name.
Yeah, I want to know about his. Its line still 3.5. Has it moved?
It's still 3.5.
Okay, so they're 3.5.
I think he's a rookie, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know nothing.
I want to know. I want to know who's backing him up.
Oh, Brock Purdy.
Yeah, let's just find out.
Josh Johnson.
Josh Johnson. Okay.
Who's Josh Johnson? I don't know.
I mean,
yeah, no
I think
idea.
he was a groundskeeper before.
It's like the emergency goalie in hockey.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I want to be that guy. Who doesn't want to be that guy until you actually have to step up and suit up?
Right. I'd take one shot.
He's he looks like Josh Johnson. He had he looks like he played in 2011, 2012, and then didn't get to play again for another 7 years. So he's been a backup.
But he has been a backup all this time. I knew the name sounded familiar.
I think he's a wide receiver that they're playing as a quarterback.
Wow.
Maybe he went to Canadian Football League.
They're going to run the ball a lot.
No, he's a running quarterback. He's got a lot of rushing stats, but he's a quarterback.
Okay. Well, I'm curious to see what happens. They're still 3.5-point favorites, and you still like the 49ers.
I still like the 49ers. Man, that was one that I started to shy away from because Tom Brady versus, Purdy. That's probably not a smart bet, but the 49ers defense is
it's unbelievable.
I think if the 49ers can put up 20 points, they win the game. The Buccaneers are not going to put up more than 28 at the most.
No miracle Brady comebacks with the San Francisco defense.
Yeah, I agree.
No way.
That was a miracle last week.
Yeah.
Brady obviously isn't what he used to be, and Leonard Fournette.
I feel bad for Brady, man. The guy's just. I almost feel bad for him, and I'm not a Brady fan, but I mean,
there's no love lost here.
I don't feel bad
for him.
No,
he's had a great career.
Zero.
He should have retired. He should have retired after the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay.
Why not go out like that, right?
I think his wife's out there cheating on him with her personal trainer. He had that's all he knows.
Yeah, well, I mean, if
there's
that's
my
a fact.
Conspiracies again.
Yeah. Do you have one before we? I mean, we got about 19. Do you have one yet? But I want to get in your last pick before we.
You'll get me distracted.
So this is one of I do that well. I get distracted easily too. But this is one I've really thought about since last night. This is probably one of my favorites of the weekend. Is the Titans. Titans are -3.5. I think it's bounced back,
and they're disrespected every week again. That they've been dogs on a lot of their wins. That they're just a team that Vegas has very little faith in. They got a good running game. They got an okay defense. They're a good team.
And Tannehill is serviceable. Yeah. Not great. He's not. He's one of the. He's okay.
Well, his career was almost given up on, and then
correct. He's another comeback guy.
Yeah, he's another comeback guy that in Tennessee. But I think Derrick Henry saved his career because A.J. Brown also, that he had some weapons that made him look good. He is the game manager again.
Yeah.
That we're talking about these game managers. He can manage. He doesn't do stupid things with the ball. So he gives you a chance.
Yeah. Hand off to Henry. He's going to pound the rock.
Guy's
this week.
That guy's amazing.
Yeah. And
how long can his body hang on? Right.
It can't. The way he takes a beating. Usually, what's the average running back?
Gives the
got
beating.
3 or 4 years.
3.5 years.
He gives the beating.
Yeah.
You ever see him?
Well, in the fourth quarter, that's the difference. Is he gets better because people are tired of being rammed into.
Yeah.
And he just keeps going, keeps going.
Was there a story? I don't know if Clemson or you brought it up. It's like they almost didn't give him a chance. Who told?
Yeah,
him?
that they almost didn't give him a chance because it was their running back Chris Johnson that
Chris
told
Johnson.
him, "Hey, give him 20 touches and see what happens." Because he was splitting time with a 5'7" running back, Darren Sproles type, a speed back, and he was their number one back, and Derrick Henry was the 2. And Chris Johnson told him, "You got something special. Give him 20 carries," and because they were ready to cut him, and he said, "Just do that. If he doesn't, go ahead and cut him." And he was right about that. Because you remember in Alabama, he was running behind one of the best lines in football. So some of those guys haven't panned out the way they'd hope.
What do you think about the game? You like the Titans this week or no?
I'm not a Titans fan. You know me though. I bet with my heart, so I'm not. I want to stay out of that betting stuff.
Yeah, I understand, but this is a
I'm gonna
betting
give people
show.
bad
What
advice.
do you like? What do you like? I mean, who do you like to win the game?
I bet with my heart as well. I feel that I'm Mizzou versus Kansas today. I'm just gonna, hammer Mizzou.
We had a conversation about it before, and it's just like I could never bet on the Cowboys. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And
that is part of becoming a better bettor. I finally, I try not to bet on the games that I have emotions in because then, I start rooting against the teams I love, and it takes away from the fandom. I kind of avoid the teams I love.
Yeah, it's a big thing for me. That's why I'm not a good bettor because I just every bet I would make, I wouldn't look at the money line. I would just look at it as emotional. So.
All right. Anything? Have you added anything since yesterday?
That's what the 49ers game I'm probably going to leave alone now. Just because there's too many questionables. I don't know about Brock Purdy. I like the Dolphins -3.5 over the Chargers. That's also, I don't know what the over and under is. Let me check. That's a high scoring game. Over 53.5 for me.
Okay. I like it. All right. All right. Come on. I can't remember any of your conspiracy theories. They're funny. I wanted to get Greg's take.
Kurt Schilling faked his bloody sock. Used paint as a distraction method. Trying to remember some of them. Michael Jordan got his dad murdered by gambling debts.
Oh, that was a big one. I remember that. That was a.
Tell us more about it.
I wasn't alive. I really don't know that.
That hurts, man. That really hurts.
That makes me feel.
Wow, I was just beginning to like you too.
Yeah.
No, I remember that was a big thing. That was a big thing on the news when Michael Jordan's dad got killed. That it was because of his gambling debts.
Yeah, and that baseball was really in 93. It was a suspension that they gave to him privately, and that's why he went and played for the White Sox. That's what I do know about it. That's what they thought, that his dad was murdered over gambling debts, and that they secretly gave him a 1-year suspension and let him serve it as playing baseball.
What do you think?
That's crazy.
I don't buy it. He's got $1 gazillion. I mean, how much is his gambling debts? Did he just not pay them? Maybe.
Or maybe they're trying to get him to shave points. That's the type of point,
that could have been as well. I mean, who knows what goes on?
A lot of those conspiracies, I know.
You were in Arizona when that happened.
Oh, so I was going to bring that up. Have you seen the documentary? I'm gonna get the name off of it, off Netflix. But there's a documentary on Netflix about shaving points.
It's a sports.
Headache Smith.
Yeah.
Headache Smith. Stephon Smith I went to college, and he was there at the same time.
Stud.
absolute stud and got caught up in a shaving point scandal and ruined his NBA career. And I was actually
there was like two other guys on the team that he got involved into it as well.
Yep, absolutely. And I recommend. I'm gonna have to find this. See if I can find this because it is really good. It's episode 1 of this series. I'm gonna try to find it, but Stephon Smith. He went by Headache Smith. I'm in somewhere in this terrible video footage of one rushing the floor from the student section. I can't find myself because the video is so bad. It'd probably be too hard to find anyway. But I'm in there somewhere. I know I am because I went to every home game for 4 years.
Arizona State.
For Arizona State. Yeah, Headache Smith. And he spells it Hedake.
Was he a player?
Yeah, he was a player. Yeah, he was going to the NBA.
He was going. It was like it was a first round draft pick.
Yeah,
and like people were just extremely high on him. Like, and he would just come out and be lights out to everybody, and then got caught up in this this point shaving thing.
Yeah,
and I think it started for $10,000.
Yeah, $10,000, and he got so deep.
Right.
And they said, "Oh, we can know how you can get out. All you got to do is only win by a certain amount."
And he got caught.
He got caught. Ruined his
NBA
career.
It went on for almost all the season, and finally got caught towards the end.
Yes.
Because he'd be lights out hitting, and then all of a sudden in the second half he couldn't hit anything.
All right, I'm gonna try to find it.
It's like Larry Bird shooting left-handed.
I don't get it.
Oh, Larry Bird played one game shot left-handed, and still was lights out.
Just because he was bored, apparently.
Correct.
Yeah, he told him that he would play left-handed.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the name.
Another one
I'll have to say it another time, but
we talked about was Cal Ripken. I remember that apparently to keep his streak alive, he caught Kevin Costner sleeping with his wife and wasn't going to play that night. So they actually took the intentional power outage to move the game to the next day so that he wouldn't lose his streak.
What do you think?
Oh.
That's it. That's Greg Damon's thoughts on one word answer. No. I was a Cal Ripken fan as a kid.
Spygate. Why did the NFL destroy the evidence? Got any thoughts on that?
I'm sorry. Say it again. I was looking
Spygate. They why'd they destroy the evidence? The NFL's rigged for the Patriots and the.
Well, I mean, if you really want to do conspiracy theories, let's do this. Let's talk about last year's Super Bowl champs, the Rams.
Greatest team. Yep.
All right, that's it. I'm out.
No.
No, I mean here's an owner that spends $3 billion on a new stadium, and gets involved in a lawsuit with St. Louis. All of a sudden, his team that has been crap for the past 5 years, all of a sudden becomes Super Bowl champions in his brand new stadium.
That is convenient.
Really convenient.
Yeah, that is.
Think about Tom Brady. Here we go. We'll just go back. Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl, goes from the Patriots
2001
going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which team was crap up till Tom Brady got there. All of a sudden wins a Super Bowl. I mean,
and Tampa, right? Too. It was
in Tampa.
It does seem whatever would make the most money does
and LA
always
was
seem to magically happen.
Bad Sport is the Netflix documentary. It's episode 1 of Headache Smith point shaving scandal. It's a definite
I'm gonna
watch.
look for you. You're in. I'm gonna
well,
find
you're
you,
not
dude.
gonna find
Did you have
me.
hair?
Yeah, I had hair.
He's got an Arizona State shirt on.
Yeah,
Oh,
I did.
Okay.
It was gray. I always wore my gray sweatshirt inside except when it was really, really
Were
hot.
they good back then?
I think I got.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah.
Arizona State was, and I love ASU sports. I still follow them. I mean, it's so much fun. More football than basketball, but man, they have had some really good players come out of Arizona State. So anyway, it's always my number one, and then after that, Mizzou. Yeah, hoping my daughter ends up going to Mizzou so I can go to some games.
Mizzou, Kansas.
I've never been. I've been to campus there, partied there once. I've never. Have you experienced Mizzou football game, basketball game?
So, I have experienced several Mizzou games here the past year. Obviously, my son, football player. We actually went, not this year, last year, we went to CBC playing the state title game at Mizzou.
Okay.
our whole team. We took our whole team with us. One of the coaches knew the food and beverage guy at Mizzou for the athletes, and we got to tour their new football facilities, weight room, all that stuff. It was just amazing the add on to the end zone that they've done and the stuff that's in there. I mean, this weight room is unbelievable. I can only imagine what like Alabama's weight room's like compared to.
Did you go to Mizzou?
No, I went to SEMO.
SEMO?
But I have gone to the games, and I can say the football, uh, I would like to get to go to more games. But the basketball, man, it's quiet. It's quiet in that arena on some of those nights. We don't pack the stands every night like Duke or Kansas. Or I think they need more. Not that it changes the game, but I've been in there on some of the conference
I think
games,
it does
and
change the
you can
game.
hear what it does. Right, and that's what I'm saying. That having that advantage, it's not going to, being loud. Some of that helps, especially in football with play calling. But in basketball, sometimes like today, it'll be packed. But on the regular games,
Oh, it'll be.
you can go see a
yeah,
game for a couple bucks, and I think it's a fun experience. I like going.
I'll tell you, I'm the announcer for St. Dominic High School, and so last night they had a basketball game between Westminster and St. Dominic. It was probably one of the best basketball games I've ever seen in my life, and the place was packed, packed. Students from both teams, there for both schools there. It was great. It was loud. It was chanting back and forth. It was coaches upset, players upset. Man, it was fantastic.
So how do we hear you?
Got to come to the game. I'm the PA announcer.
Oh, you're the PA announcer. Okay, I didn't know
right.
if maybe it was on the radio or.
No, I do PA for them.
That's
Did
awesome.
your team win?
They did. They were
right.
losing. About a minute 20 left to go. They took the lead. They were down by 17 at one point.
Wow.
And came back and won by 2.
You know my high school basketball career? Did I tell you this? I told Earl Barron. Hopefully he'll be joining us next week. But Earl Barron, I told him, I said, I've had 43 seconds on the floor. That's all I've ever had. I took 2 shots and made both.
Nice.
Yeah, 100%.
You're one of the most efficient basketball players to ever live.
Yeah.
So when you shot that second shot, did you go, I'm out?
No, the coach said, you're out. The only time I ever got in the game, it was 43 seconds is the total I played. And then my last year, I said, I'm done. I'm not working this hard to not get to play. And I was really short. And, but no, they were wide open shots. Went in for a layup, got 1 layup, and then shot a 2-pointer.
Couple fouls or anything?
No, 43 seconds.
Didn't light up the stat
I wasn't passing. I want to tell you that. I wasn't going to pass the ball. I finally got my shot. Once I got my hands on the ball, it wasn't going anywhere. I don't care if I would have got slammed to the ground. I'm shooting. Yeah.
Hey, if you don't get to play when you get in there, that was Mizzou actually covered earlier in the year because they hit a half court shot with a walk on at the buzzer to cover, and if you get in there, he threw up a half court prayer just because he doesn't play, and it goes in. Coach wasn't even mad. Yes, perfect.
He probably went afterwards.
Yeah, why not?
That's what I would.
Your 2 seconds of glory, right? Yeah, I wasn't obviously a very good basketball player, but I mean,
why is that obvious?
Because if I would have played more than a minute, I probably would have been like.
It was
2
you just
for
went
50,
to a stacked
you know?
school. That's what you must have just gone to a stacked school.
I was like 5'6" in high school, maybe.
What are you now? 5'7"?
Close, 5'10".
Okay.
I'm still short. I mean, to play basketball, but no, it was fun.
I'm the shortest one in my family.
But seriously, all that hard work.
The game's changing now. If you can shoot, you can. They're getting away from the big man. If you're a big man, you better be able to shoot.
You're exactly right. It's funny because I watched this high school game. Obviously, I watched a lot of high school games, but I mean, it's all swinging around the 3-point line, swinging around, bang, take a shot, and like nobody goes in for a rebound. There's no big man in the middle.
It's a completely different game.
Correct.
And because you look at these guys like Coffee Coburn from Illinois, he's one of the best college basketball players, and he's going undrafted. That they don't want these guys that just rebound and play tough in the paint. Which I wonder, would Rodman be as valued in today's game as he was back then?
Oh well, first of all, he'd have he'd foul out in the first 3 minutes. Today's game, I mean, you can't even come within 3 feet of, especially LeBron James.
Well, that's why John and I were talking. You see these huge over-unders in college basketball, right? No defense, really. Right?
Yeah, the Big Ten plays some good defense. Other than that, there's a lot of where, it's just a 3-point contest. Whoever can shoot better. Because Mizzou's getting, we're averaging 90 points a game, and we're letting up 80 points a game.
That is crazy for college basketball to be 170 points, right?
I think it's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Hey, so how long till your son is? What year? What year is your son?
So he's 8th grade now, and he's choosing high schools right now, looking at high schools to where to go, and we'll see what that process brings.
It's football motivated.
Football motivated. He's a big band guy as well, and throws a shot put. So we'll see what happens.
So in the St. Louis area, what are some of the better? I think I know, but
obviously,
okay.
He's
oh wow,
playing for CBC now.
How tall is he?
That's a junior team. So he is 6'1", 230, 13 and a half wide shoe. But I mean,
probably still growing too. Then
still growing. Doctor keeps saying he's going to be 6'7".
Oh, wow.
But I mean, you should see some of the kids that I coach the offensive line. I mean, I have one kid that's 6'3", about 290. But there's some big kids around there too. When you start talking about big kids, he's an average-sized big kid.
Is there recruiting for high school?
Well, you're not supposed to recruit.
Okay.
So,
no.
But,
yes. No.
No.
Yes. Okay. So where would you like to see him go? Do you have a preference?
You know what I'd really like him where I'd like him to go, and this is going to sound just like every parent cliche, is I want him to make the decision and make the best choice for him to where his life is. I mean, like every parent, you think, hey, he's going to be an NFL player. You know, that's his dream as well. But that may not happen. It's one injury away from him never playing football again. So I want him to be in a school where he is going to be comfortable. He's going to have a lot of options as far as what to do, and to make his life great when he gets out.
All right, guys, we got to get out of here. Greg, thanks so much for joining us. So much fun. Can't wait to have you back soon, I hope.
Well, football's over, so my free time is a lot. And actually, what's really sad, real quick, that was my last coaching was our Super Bowl. That's right, 16 years. That was it. I'm done coaching. Kind of a bittersweet moment. So.
Well, maybe you'll help out when your son goes to high school.
Yeah, I'll be sitting there yelling.
All right. Well,
get up.
Ryan, thanks for coming down this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you on the radio. We'll hear you on the radio next week.
See me on the radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
590, 6 o'clock Friday night. 590 The Fan. We'll be back. Listen, for Greg Damon, Ryan Kinder, Clemson John. All this happens with Russell Sides. My name's David Sharp. Until next week. Thanks for watching.